aha moment for me would have been the piece of research that I did not too long ago, which is called Different Women, Different Places. And it was very much about using research in a way that was solutions focused, that told a positive, inspiring, constructive story about the lives and the experiences of Black and ethnic minority women. And it was kind of finding the mechanism, the right questions to ask, the kind of same questions that had been asked before, but really flipping the script, so to speak, and being able to get the same kind of outcome, but in a really very much in a different way.
When I first went to college, I was studying, or declared my major to be art education. In order to do art education, you have to go through a foundations program. And with that foundations program, you do pretty much everything that the school has to offer, so sculpture and painting. And one of the classes was specifically geared around graphic design, communication arts and design. And in that class, I guess, was my aha moment, and decided to pursue that field and change my major and move into the graphic design communication arts program.
We had sold early computers, Commodores, Apple IIes, Atari computers. Boy, that's aging myself. And what was always fascinating was moms and dads would bring their kids into our store on the weekends, and they would, the moms and dads would never sit down at the computer, but they would have their children sit at the computer and try a game, learn a lesson, do almost anything. And then the moms and dads would come over and buy a computer from us because they wanted their children to have, I guess, a leg up in their education, if you will. When the Macintosh came out, it was really the first, I'm not sure how else to say this, it was the first adult computer. It was the first time that adults could sit down and immediately connect with the computer. It was an amazing dynamic that I'd never seen before. So it was really pretty fascinating how that innovation of the mouse, the graphical user interface, and the simplicity of that computer captivated a whole different generation than previous computers.
Really in a fix and a bog about getting ready to do a presentation. I didn't think that the slides were right and this and that, and a shipment of information hadn't come in. And I was really stressing about it as the hours and then the minutes before the presentation were getting ready to click up. And so I spoke to a friend of mine, and I just admitted I was just desperate what to do. And she told me the coolest thing, the aha. She said, "Sand, it's you." She said, all those things are here to support you, but they are, now you already are whatever can be benefited from all that stuff coming. So just go and tell the folks what you know, and then be prepared to have them share what they know and find out what we all want to know together that we don't know. It'll be a very fine session. So my aha was that we are probably already walking around in this state of excellence and grace, where we should bring ourselves first before we start bundling our stuff.
I have little aha moments every day, and they're usually, sometimes I have to remind myself at the end of the day that I had them, because usually it's like, I figured out that a small piece of a bigger puzzle, is and many ahas over the whole day or week make for a good week.
Everyone is experiencing this in their own way, and that it is groundbreaking for them too. And it reminded me that there is that different view. I say that, I teach that, and sometimes I don't remember that everyone is experiencing this world. We're all experiencing it one person at a time, and it's that coming together of different experiences that makes this powerful. And I got my aha yesterday, standing in the cold, waiting to get in to see the inauguration of Barack Obama.
Okay, back in high school, I had an English teacher who told me that life's moments are defined by epiphanies. And what's really interesting about that is one decision can often lead to another decision, which in turn leads to another decision, and it's kind of this butterfly effect. So defining a single moment can be as small or as big as you can imagine. Because I'll give you an example. So I had this decision to take either anthropology or an English course at Colgate. And that decision to fulfill something that's completely unrelated to my major, but as a base requirement, seems really insignificant. But that decision resulted in me meeting my girlfriend, who then became my fiance, who in the future will become my wife. And that small decision is kind of interesting because I had no intention of being an anthropology student, yet it's probably the most important decision I've ever made because that's how I met Trish. So anyway, it's kind of a weird thing. So I think coming down to one moment, it's kind of a difficult thing because every single decision you make is intertwined with a whole bunch of other things, right? Because every single thing that you say or do or whatever could lead to 100 million different end results. And I would say that the most important decision I've ever made probably hasn't been made yet. Or you could look at it conversely and say that it's already been made and the process of bringing me to the end point hasn't been reached yet. So I don't know.